Oh, well, hello, everyone. How are y'all doing today? It's beautiful, it's sunny, a little bit chilly, but enough about the weather. Let's talk about today's video. And that is this. I went to a conference recently, and there's some things that I did really well, and then there's other things where I just messed up. And even though I did some prep work and did some research by listening to a podcast, I could have just done a little bit better and had a better return on my investment for actually going to this conference around logistics and supply chain. So I just wanted to come and film this video and say, hey, I know we've all made this mistake. Hey, I know we all make errors and we don't do as good as we should have as far as prep work and actually having conversations and connecting with others. So I wanted to film this video to hopefully drop some hints that will help you out. And I know it's going to help me as I rewatch this from time to time before I head out to any other conferences. But again, the first part is prep work. It's all about the prep work. If your conference sends out an attendees list, look at that list and pick about 5 to 10 people that you really want to connect with. If they don't have a list that they send out, then see if there's some sort of hashtag that goes along with this conference that you can search and see if you can't find any people who are going to be coming and research who they are. The reason why it's important to do this is because as you research those 5 to 10 people that are going to be coming, that are maybe dream people that you'd like to meet up with and connect in some way, shape, or form, it gives you a little bit of background on them. It also lets you see their face if you're using Google or LinkedIn or anything like that, and so you know who you're looking for at the conference. But other than that, there's 5 to 10 people that you're trying to potentially meet with. What you need to do as you're researching them and getting to know more about them, you need to whittle that list down to about 3 to 5 people that you're saying, hey, you know what, I really want to meet this individual for whatever reason. Maybe they're in your industry, maybe they're an industry you're trying to get into. I'm not sure, it doesn't really matter, but whittle that list from 5 to 10 down to 3 to 5. The next step in doing this prep work is, send an initial email to those 3 to 5 people that you'd like to meet up with. One that doesn't imply that you are going to have to meet up. So send an email just basically saying, hey, I'd love to meet if there's a possibility to catch up. If there's not, I'm sure you have tons of meetings already, but if you can fit me in 5 to 10 minutes, awesome. If not, I just wanted to introduce myself to see if we can't connect. Something simple, something brief, something that is a non-committal for them where they don't have to feel that they actually have to meet you, but just kind of putting your name out there so that if they see you in the conference, they may actually stop you. So the next part, after you get this list of this list of people down from 5 to 10 to 3 to 5, the next part is prep work. You need to know what you're actually going to be wearing to the conference. I know this sounds really stupid and really trivial, but it's something that takes off a little bit of stress, and that little bit of stress can go a long way when you're not having to feel that. So set out your clothes before for the event, whether it's 1 day, 3 days, 5 days, it doesn't matter. Make sure you have all your outfits picked out. Again, something really trivial, but I promise it takes off that little bit of stress. The next part is do a little pre-morning workout. It gets the endorphins flowing, it gets eustress, which is actually good stress for your body to deal with, but it gets some good chemicals and it gets some good vibes going in your body, and it allows you to be less stressed and actually have a better of a time at that event. So you're whittling down your list, 3 to 5 people. You've picked out your clothes, you've got a pre-morning workout. Now leave with plenty of time to get to that event. I don't care if it's walking down the hall. Who knows if the elevator is going to be crowded and overbooked and you're going to have to take the stairs. Leave with plenty of time to actually get to that event. So that's the prep work. Now that you've prepped, now that you're actually at the event, here's the next step. That next step is don't follow your plan of meeting those 3 to 5 people too rigidly. You know what? You don't want to be walking around the conference like I did at the one that I recently went to, looking like an absolute idiot with his head cut off, just kind of wandering around, looking, giving little waves at people. You want to be able to be fluid, be flexible with your schedule and what your plan was. You also want to have about 5 or 6 or 8 questions really in your back pocket to really introduce yourself, to break the ice. Everyone there is not used to mingling in crowds of hundreds or thousands. It's going to be a weird for everyone who's there. So you know what? Be the person who breaks the ice, who asks questions that are beyond, hey, my name is Paul, what do you do? But hey, what brings you to this conference? At the end of this conference, what does a win look like for you? Have you met anyone interesting? What are you looking to get out of this? Who do you hope to meet? Some simple questions that actually kind of help make the conversation a little bit more engaging and a little bit less about you and less about them, but just kind of really getting into some deep topics. You're scratching the surface of who they are, but finding out their deeper needs and their story a little bit more. So don't follow your plan too rigidly. Also have about 5 to 8 questions in your back pocket, basically saying, hey, you know what, let's get beyond the trivial. hey, how are you? My name is so-and-so and I work for this company, but actually getting to know them a little bit more, maybe a little bit more of their story, because you may actually know someone who you can connect them with, which would be a pretty big win in the end. You also want to have about 3 or 4 little conversation enders within that meeting. And so whether that's, hey, you know what, are you going to be here the rest of the conference? Awesome, let's plan on meeting up a little bit later. Let me have your card. Or, hey, you know, I'm sure you have a lot of meetings that you're going to be, that you're going to try to get to, so let me not take any more of your time. Something along those lines. There's a few conversation enders that you need to have in your back pocket because you don't want to be stuck in an awkward conversation for 30 minutes when you really need to be going to the next maybe breakout session, or you maybe want to see the next keynote speaker, or heck, you may want to go meet someone that you know is there and that you've set up a meeting with. So that's what you need to do during the event. You know what, don't follow your plan too rigidly. Have some opening icebreaker questions, but also have some conversation enders. And don't be afraid to just grab cards, say a quick little hello, and then move on. Don't be afraid to sit down at a random table. Don't be afraid to walk into a conversation, not be a rude jerk about it, but also just see what you can't learn and see if you can't really figure out who they are and build some different relationships. It's not about making you look good, it's not about looking good, but it's literally just about being a presence, making connections, and planting seeds. The last part is post-event. You need to send an email to every single person who you got a card from. You need to send an email to every single person you got a card from. Let me say that one more time. You need to send an email to every single person you got a card from. And now you're probably thinking, Paul, that's ridiculous, that's stupid, why would I even do that? Well, the reason why is you have no idea where those relationships are going to go, and you have no idea who that person really is, especially if you only met them for 5 or 10 minutes. You have no idea what that connection can do for you. And it's not about so that you can get something in it in the future or later on. It's, man, send those emails because connections are key. Relationships are key. It helps the return on investment for this event, for going to that conference, actually be a little bit better. It makes it worth more for you. But so sending those emails, but then you also need to follow up on what you're going to follow up on. If you said you were going to say something, if you said you were going to do something, you need to follow up on what you said you'd follow up on. Make sure that you do that. That is incredibly key and important. And then one of the last things that I know that I've done and that I'm doing actually right now at the tail end of this conference is there's 3 to 5 people that I whittled my list down to that I really wanted to meet. I'm actually going to be emailing them soon and saying, hey, you know, we didn't get a chance to meet. I know we're at the same conference. I'd just like to say hey and see if we can't connect in some way. So just a small little non-committal email I'm going to send their way. So you have the prep work, you know, you're making sure you get this list of 3 to 5 people. You know, you're laying out your clothes, you're getting your pre-morning workouts, you're actually arriving on time, you're doing the research you need to do at the event. During the event, you're not holding to your plan too rigidly, you're being okay with being the person who breaks the ice and actually gets to know the people and has fun opening conversation questions, and then also conversation enders. And then post-event, you're sending an email to everyone you got a card from. You are following up on what you said you're going to follow up on. And most importantly, those 3 to 5 people, whether you got to meet them or not, you're sending them an email to connect anyways. I hope this was helpful for you guys. I know it's helpful for me as I've kind of processed through this and thought about this. But the next event you're going to, how would you make it the best possible ROI you can by doing this prep work, by doing the event steps, and then by doing the post-event steps as well. Thanks so much for watching. We will see you all next time. Deuces. Bye.